I deliberately chose Alison because she seemed quite different to me in terms of her background. So I didn't want to work with another me. So I didn't want to look at a profile and go, well, that's me, but with a sort of a different head on, and think, well, I'm going to get something very similar if I work with a me. I just spoke to Alison and thought, yeah, that feels right. So it was quite a conscious decision and quite a quick decision, actually, really.
Having a supervisor who stands in a different place is part of what makes it so important, because there's a freshness there, and there's a different way of saying things and seeing things. So I'm very aware that in my decision about who I should have as a supervisor, one of the things that was important to me, that it not be somebody who's standing inside the same methodological background from which I come, which is the one that I teach and which informs all of my work so much. Because I want to be able to see from somewhere else. It's no good to keep on seeing the same way again and again.
So I know that Alison has a doctorate. I know that Alison has years of experience. When I hear her referencing things, I'm thinking, God, if I had your brain, I'd be so happy. But all of that is held so lightly. So she'll offer a bit of resources, or she'll offer a model, or she'll offer some thinking in a very generous, light way. So you never feel, I should have known that, or I feel a bit daft for not knowing it, or I'm having some expert teach me something. It's just, oh, this might be quite a useful way to look at it. You may have come across it, you may not. And so I think that for me makes it feel, again, a very equal partnership, which is important to me.
If you just bring the stuff where you look good or whatever, then you're really not going to get that much out of it. Whereas if you really bring the stuff that this isn't my finest hour, I'm rather ashamed of how that went, or I can't believe I did that, then you get much more. And for me personally, to do that, I would really have to trust the person that I'm working with. I'm not going to bring my dirty washing unless I really respect that that's going to be dealt with sensitivity, and somebody isn't going to go, oh my God, you've done what? You know, and what made you think that was even a sense, you know, if there was any sense of judgment or criticism around that, that would fundamentally change how I work with somebody. So that's really important to me.
The session is typically a building together, which is one of the things that I really love. I'm not getting, and nor am I looking for, a firm, finite answer. It's about building ideas together, and that is a hugely stimulating and enriching process where we explore together in the same way as one would in coaching. We explore together what might be going on. One of the things I love about coaching with Alison, supervision with Alison, is that she has a capacity to stand back and leave the question that I've brought, but look at it in a different, bigger, more expansive, more creative perspective. So the perspective is one of the things that is hugely valuable. And what I find myself doing is, if you like, reorganising the pieces in my mind and seeing the issue as a different issue.
Alison's interventions are various and multiple, from being able to offer a wide range of information to me from, you know, her huge reading and experience, to asking me fantastic open questions that lead my brain to its own solutions. She's also, you know, particularly adept at using some of the creative ways of supervising, so using metaphor, drawing, using cards that access a different part of your brain and help you to use all of your brain in solving your problems. not just the conscious logical bit, which as a coach is what you're really endeavouring to do, I think, with your clients as well. So there are some real similarities in terms of some of the process of it. I have a huge sense of her being on my side, you know, really wanting me to develop and grow and continue my journey as a coach.
My experience of Alison has been of feeling exquisitely cared for over very long periods of time. So I get to settle, and then I can find things that are true. And I don't think that that would be possible if I felt judged or distrusted or, you know, any of those kind of sort of alternatives. So in a way, I think the most important thing I'd say has been is the nature of the relationship that we have. So to be in a space with somebody who I really enjoy working with and trust, and I noticed that I really want to hear what Alison has to say about things. That's an important part of it. It feels like it's dialogue. If I think of all the different modes you could have for this kind of work, you know, one would be that I would just talk. Alison would nod or something, but it's not like that. It's much more, feels much more like partnership.
And the way that Alison works means that I create and come out of the session with my own ideas that are Lindsay-shaped. And I've reflected on how I want to put them into practice. I may not have a complete picture, but I have a different way of looking at things, and that is enormously valuable, having a different way of looking at things in a context in which I feel safely held by somebody who has depth, breadth, wisdom, and openness to everything. So it feels very nourishing in an autonomy creating way.